Wonderful. So, welcome to round 5 of the monthly endurance racing scene here at PetrolHead SimRacing. We've got 14 minutes to go left of qualifying, 4 classes fighting each other. And, of course, we're going to be going for over an hour of endurance racing later on tonight. But first of all, we need to get through these last 15 minutes of qualifying. And I should mention, we are at Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix, and this is a very good track for the higher speed cars like LMP1, the downforce you can really play with through Copse and Maggots and Beckett's, and we should be sorted for a good time here. We've got a lot more P1 machines than usual, a lot more P2 machines than usual, a grand total of 2 GTEs. Yeah, not the best attendance there, but for GTR3 that's like 12 different cars in the class, so we'll be guaranteed a very good race from GTR3 later on today. But with 13 minutes left to go, here are your standings for the minute. So in LMP1, Fotozisoglu starts off ahead of 2.5 seconds ahead of the next car behind. He set a benchmark fastest time overall of 1 minute 44.180. That's his best lap so far. And Victor Correa in second place, that's at 146.483. And then A. Nico in third place is in third, and then George Rallistot fourth. Then of course with excuse the train. Shout out to the trains. They like saying hello. I know my microphone's very sensitive like that, but you know yourself. LMP2, Janos Kovacs is at the front, followed by Huey Kratochville. Just around 1.5 seconds back in second place, and Andy Darnell's in third, a further 1.1 second back. And then Mike Cockert and even Ivan Lukic are first and second respectively in GTE, going faster than Ralph Bart and Andy Foster in fourth and fifth for LMP2, despite their being traditionally slower machines. And then of course for GT3, that's where the action starts happening. They've got Thorsten Borchardt, yesterday's most recently in his most recent race. He was crowned the winner at Hockenheim for Super GT2. So let's see if we can carry that momentum back into Silverstone this evening. And now Arthur Graw is in second place with Will McCone in third. Dave Ziskus put in a time good enough for fourth place this time round, and Sotiris Margaritis rocking the brand new 992 Porsche. I should have mentioned that the new Porsche is very good. So we'll be seeing a lot more of the rear-engined flat six magical cars on this grid. This is going to be his last one of his last races before he has to go back into the term. So let's see if he can end it off at a high. He'll be able to. I have no doubt in his ability. He can definitely do something here tonight. Then going into the midfield for GT3, JC Camagno in the Ferraris in 6th place. Extreme Radical returns for P7. Rhino Berger P8 currently, with Eric Arslan rounding off the grid in P9. Rail Racing is in P10, and Adrian Huber is 6th and last in P2, and yeah, that's safe to say that he hasn't exactly done a proper qualifying lap. Like, he's definitely got more time in him. Certainly. And then the rest of the drivers haven't really qualified or done their fastest qualifying lap yet. They've all often, some of the people have been doing is out laps. And you can tell, like, by the lap time indifference. Like, front runners like Dirk Pfeiffer and Mike Bartman. Dirk Pfeiffer is at the second last and 11th, and Mike Bartman is 12th. So, with 9 minutes left to go, I don't... Like, is it possible that maybe they forgot to qualify? I don't know what's happening with them. But we'll definitely see a little bit of more action fighting from back of the grid, those pair of Bentleys. You know that they're very good friends, those two. So let's see them fight their way back up the grid together in those Bentleys. With 8.5 minutes to go, nothing much has changed. Photosystically is upgraded to a 44 seconds dead on the soft tyre. That is a very good time. Over 2 seconds quicker than Victor Correa in second place. And then, of course, Ethan Mottram isn't going to be racing today, I don't think. He's followed through on his intent to quit the sport after tragically disconnecting from last month's race. I don't understand this. He's been posting in the Discord quite a lot about how much he's practicing for this one. Like, he seemed to have changed his mind, but at the last second in his words, he's going to put life first. Not quite sure what that means, but anyway, it's a shame with all that showboating he's not going to be here to race with us in the grid tonight. Should be an easy win for Photosystically, granted if he finishes. Spins can happen. Photos has gone 200ths quicker in the Sector 1. There's still time to be gained on the soft tyre here in qualifying. He's on pole at the minute, but a few more tenths couldn't hurt. So just a little bit of a tidbit of info. So since Christian Kubovic had to go on holidays for last minute, we don't have Christian Kubovic as a safety car driver, but I managed to sort something out. So long story short, very technical explanation short, I highly doubt the drivers in here don't want to listen to how I set this up, but I'll wait for the train. Alright, it's gone. Long story short, I'm the safety car driver and the commentator this time around, so normally this is where I'd say shout out to Kubovic, but yeah, it's me this time around. Hopefully I don't screw up too badly. It's only one lap in a GT4 Audi, what can possibly go wrong? I just commentator cursed myself, what am I doing? And on that bombshell, it's 5 minutes left to go of qualifying. Here on the screen right now, at least on my screen, I can see Arthur Graw taking a little bit of advantage of the slipstream from Fotis car. It's on a personal best flying lap. He's going to need that extra a few kilometers an hour to try get ahead into P1 ahead of Thorsten Burkhardt in the Porsche. Arthur Graw is still sticking to his faithful BMW M6. Two new, very fast cars have been released since he started the championship, but he's sticking to his old reliable. And it works out for him. P1 on the grid for tonight's race. Very good work, Arthur. Heck, every third time I want to say something, the train goes by. Sorry if there's a bit of a gap, that's probably why. So, anyway, what I was going to say is Janos Kovacs was green there. Personal best in Sector 1, but he couldn't carry the speed through Sector 2. But although he's first in class at the minute, a few more tenths couldn't hurt. It's a gap himself between Jiri Kretochvil in second place. Of course, consistency is going to be a massive thing here, because no matter where you qualify, if you're just a little bit faster on average per lap than the guy in front of you, like you're going to overtake him eventually, like because you've got over an hour to do so. So this is going to give you a chance, give the fast guys who didn't qualify a chance to fight their way back. So that's the beauty of endurance racing. We've got 2 minutes left to go, and not much has changed from the last time I explained things. There's, of course, Thorsten Burkhardt is still has really taken first place, actually, ahead of Arthur Graw by just not even a tenth, just 8/800ths of a second, faster than Arthur Graw. That's very, very good stuff from Thorsten there. Arthur's gonna have to work to put in that extra little bit of lap time. So if you're new here, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like to put a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel whenever you go, so you know whenever we're doing another one of these streams. Like, we do a lot more than endurance racing, you know. We've got a Formula 1 league coming up. We've got all kinds of stuff coming up. We've got other multi-class series. We've got a Formula Ford series ongoing, and a lot of other stuff in the pipeline that you should be really excited for. So subscribe, hit the bell, join the Discord. You will not regret it if you're a fan of watching sim racing. The cars aren't real, but the racing surely is. So that's it then for qualifying. Fotis qualifies on pole for LMP1. LMP2 pole goes to Janos Kovac, followed by Jiri Kretochvil on P2. Just around over a second and a half off of Janos Kovac pace. This is not really a top speed car, this is a cornering car, and that's what Kovac has got his hands on. with Andy Darnell in P3. Mike Hockert is the faster of the two GTEs, and Thorsten Burkhardt has managed to best Arthur Graw in a hot lapping session, but can he keep up the consistency throughout the endurance race to keep Arthur Graw behind in that M6? 5 minutes and the racing will begin. So of course there's going to be warm up a little bit, just 3 more minutes and then we're going racing. Qualifying has ended and unfortunately Ethan Botram couldn't make it, he had other things to do. So of course Fotis Issaglus qualified on pole with Victor Correa 2.5 seconds behind him in second place. If he can keep it up and not spin, Fotis seems to have an easy victory on his hands, but it's going to be the podium positions now. That's going to be exciting for P1, if there's a fight at all. Now in second place, Janos Kovac and Jiri Kotocvil are both pretty quick. Janos Kovac has gone over a second quicker than Jiri, because the Radical is a lot more better in cornering than the Chevrolet DPI. But maybe we could see a 1 in a million mistake from Janos Kovac, and maybe we can see Jiri Kotocvil taking the lead. Perhaps in the stops, maybe? I have no idea how this could go or what can happen here, but Sandy Darnell's in the same boat as Jiri. He's in the DPI, he's not in quite the fastest car for Silverstone. Well, he signed up with the car, so he has to put up with something like that, and he'll make the time back on other low drag tracks. So of course Mike Hockert is the best of the 2 GTEs that are present here today, and Ivan Lukic is in second. And then of course Thorsten Burkhardt has just managed barely to edge out train time. And that's the end of train time, so that little rush through the microphone you hear every once in a while, that's literally the train going by. Yeah, I live next to a train station, so of course a little bit of a disturbance every once in a while. But Thorsten managed to just edge out Arthur Graw there for a GT3 pole, but of course it's going to be a battle of consistency to see who's going to win the race ultimately, because whoever has the higher average pace is going to get by eventually, no matter where you qualify. So, will it be Thorsten Burkhardt Arthur Graw, or even William McComb. To take the win at Silverstone, maybe? Like, I've got to say that those are the new 992 Porsches that have been added into the game recently have been absolutely rapid. It's a lot better than the 2019 spec that we used to have a long time ago. That was awful. At least in my when I drove it, like no matter what I could do, no matter what I did, I couldn't tune it out of it. Just horrible to drive. But anyway, time for me to hop into the safety car. Go grab my rim. Alright, I've got my rim in place and I will be safety car driver, so winding up on the grid as usual. So of course drivers will have to maintain a little bit of distance from the safety car, and on my in lap there's going to be, the leader of each class is going to be able to dictate the pace of the field, so this is going to make for a pretty good start here, I can imagine. So of course this is a rolling start, so we're going to be doing one parade lap, and then the first chance I get I'll be pitting in for the rest of the drivers to begin their own races. And Ralph Bart has gone all the way ahead. He's not supposed to. Has he perhaps forgotten about the safety car procedure? Probably. Now, of course, I'm taking my time a little bit because I'm driving on like 5 frames per second because I'm running the second instance of R3E on my laptop I use for school, so it's not the best ideal. Not ideal for running a racing game on, but I could do a parade lap in an R8. People doing their parade lap now. Fotis Isoglu's going to be the man on pole for now. In P1, he's raring to go. I can see him in the rearview mirror. So just going through the last bits of track. Sorry if I'm being a little bit quiet here. But this is driving a safety car in 5 frames per second with delayed force feedback is not the easiest of feats. Alright, the safety car will be in this lap. The drivers who can hear me and have a good race. So Fotis Isoglu is going to be leading the pack into turn 1 now. So now it's going to be go, 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 one by one for the race start now. Fotis Isoglu is going to be taking point here with Victor Correa in second place with Nico in third. Nico's had a little bit of an accident there. He's dropped back to fourth and last in P1. Race has started for LMP2. Janusz Kovac has managed to stay in the lead, and Jiri Kratochvil has managed to stay second. Andy Darnell's right in his rear bumper though, with Ralph Bart making a little bit of an appearance there. And then there's an appearance of 3 GTEs now going through turn 1. That's Ivan Lukic in second, and Mike Hockert maintaining first place, and Alessandro Riebeck in third place. Lukic looks like he's going to have a little bit of a challenge, and that's the start of GT3. Now Dave Ziska's lost a place, and Sotirios Margaritis has taken a position up in front for Inspired Yorkshire. Magno has been overtaken by Extreme Radical. Ferrari's been losing a place. Then Rayo Racing are overtaking Eric Arslan. Everyone's following each other there. Dave Ziska wants to have a look at retaking that lost position for Sotirios Margaritis, and that's Ivan Lukic gone through, and that is him in third and last for GTE. What happened there? It's got a little bit heated, I guess, but Alessandro Riebeck is now the man in P2. Now he needs to focus on catching the absolutely rapid Mike Hockert. Now back to LMP2. A battle is surely brewing between Ralph Bart and Andy Darnell. He's right on his rear bumper. He's looking for any place he can go through. Maybe on the outside now, under braking. And he's going to stay on the inside. Now he's on the outside to the next corner. Ralph's going to pull out a little bit. He wants to survive. It's not the best corner to make your overtake. You've got over an hour and 15 minutes to make this move. You don't have to make it now. Car's off the track, and that is Jiri Kratochvil gone off. He was leading the race and in second place. Now he's dropped back into fifth. I tell you, those DPIs are absolutely tough cars to drive. Wouldn't happen expected to happen so soon though, but that's our second spinner of the session, but there's no DNFs just yet. Abdelkhalik Nico is in fourth place. He's spun a few times there, but he's not quite out just yet. William McCone is 4/10 off of Arthur Graw in the number 80 Porsche. You can see the dinosaur livery. It's absolutely gorgeous. Ralph Bart is now in P3 for LMP2, and he's chasing down Andy Darnell bit by bit. He has the faster car. He's in the Radical, Judd-powered Radical, I believe, and he's got the corners-orientated car, and that is Rhino Burger round. He's lost a few positions there. He's lost 3, gone 4, gone 5th. 5 positions lost, unfortunately. But Rhino's got all day to make those positions back. He's got the talent. He just needs to put it down, pen onto paper. But that was a good move there from Ralph Bart. Going up into P2, he's got the better car. He's got a corner-orientated car for a corner-orientated track, and that has benefited him this time round versus Andy Darnell. Kovac first in LMP2 and Ralph Bart second. Meanwhile, Will McCone is having a look 5/10 off of Andy Darnell. No, not Andy Darnell, Arthur Graw. Meanwhile, in 4th and 5th, Dave Ziska's in 5th, staring down Sotirios Margaritis in 4th. Going to go out on the inside. Very, very good move. But it's not over yet. Dave Ziska's on the outside line of the next corner, and Sotirios is going to get the corner back. Excellent racing this time round, and that is another car around, that's an LMP2 machine. Why is it's going so slow? I'm not sure what the story is with that, but I'm glad it didn't cause any crashes just yet. Will is getting very close to Arthur Graw. He definitely has the pace. He's on bumper to bumper with that M6 in front of him. The number 80 Porsche versus the M6 of Arthur Graw. This is the battle for second place, ladies and gentlemen. Side by side is going to be Extreme Radical, and that is number 6 of Dirk Pfeiffer in the Bentley. Oh, he just drops one position. He hasn't. He didn't even qualify for the race. He was all the way at the back to begin with, but now he's got an absolute mountain to climb in that Bentley. He's going to have to hope for an overcut in the pits if he wants to salvage anything out of that. Victor Correa is putting up a very good challenge versus Fotis Isoglu. He hasn't dropped back just yet like the others have. George Rallistas is in third place, but he's more or less gifted to him thanks to Nico behind him in P4 having his fair share of spins. But the real battle for P1 is going to be between Victor Correa and Fotis Isoglu. They're 2 tenths apart. It's going to be Nico in the number 8 Mistral in 4th place spinning, and once again someone counts that, please. Someone count that for me in chat. They're coming past their the Bell and P1 machines are going past their first round of traffic. Fotis Isoglu is flashing the headlights a lot there just to trying to alert the GT3s behind ahead of him that he's there and to move out of the way, or else might hinder himself and his battle between Victor Correa and himself. Thorsten Borkhorst has managed to run off into the lead there. He has managed to give himself a lot of headroom. It's gone over a tenth, or 1 second, 1/10 on Arthur Graw, and Arthur Graw is being pressured right now by Will McCone in third place. This is a very, very good performance by Will. And the number 80 Porsche. Like less than half a second separate those two drivers. Couldn't be closer. If it was any closer, they'd be side by side. That's how close this is right now. Turn time. Will's got Arthur Graw in his sights. That GTE is fighting Andy Darnell for position. Abdulkhalik Nico, the Mistral in 4th place in P1, was out. Was spinning constantly, and he must have finally succumbed to his rims. And that's Camagno in the Ferrari. Midfielder is out. Or contention for the midfield at least. He's at the back now. He's in P10, P11. He's losing time. Now he's in P12. Dirk Pfeiffer's now up 1. His next car ahead of Dirk Pfeiffer right now. Bentley we saw spin earlier is now 6 seconds ahead of him, so it's got to knuckle down for the next hour and a bit. Will and Arthur have not slowed down one bit. William McCone on the inside of the next corner. On the outside of the next. That is close. That was very opportunistic defending from Arthur Graw. If he'd done anything any different, Will McCone might have just gotten that position. What's this now? The battle for 4th place with Dave Ziska versus Sotiris Maritas. Ziska's gotten back into the starting position in 4th. Sotiris has lost his position he gained at the start. The number 16 Porsche, Sotiris Maritas, this is going to be his last race of the season. He just doesn't have much spare time anymore, unfortunately. But that's life, you know. That's life. Now Andy Darnell is racing Kiri Kratachvili for the last podium spot here. Here he was very quick in practice, but I'm sure he just mustn't be that consistent, hey? Also from one of my favorite sources about Andy himself. Andy has once again not practiced whatsoever for this race, so it's working out for him so far. He's got a podium. He's looking into a podium position out of it, but that's Thierry Coutacheville gone into 3rd place. I tell you, if he's knuckles down, then like he's definitely gonna be in it with a chance. I suppose. I swear. A rare sight to behold. It's gonna be a battle for the win here for P1. Usually one of these drivers run away with it. Korea nearly was in it for the chance, but just missed it off there. It's Mistral versus the DMD. Fotis Isoglu, of course, is in front. Victor was staying within a second of Fotis Isoglu just until a few moments ago. He's gaining rapidly though. Victor is definitely one of the few who have practiced, and it definitely shows in his lap time. He's gaining tenths at a time, going through the bends of Silverstone. So just after getting a little bit of an information from the Discord, Dirk Pfeiffer said himself that him and Mike weren't starting at the grids as a challenge. It was just them genuinely sucking at Silverstone. Like, I don't blame them. I sucked at Silverstone. What, until like 3 days ago? Until I just suddenly clicked for me. But Silverstone isn't a track for everyone, and this can be a difficult track to learn. But it's not at all. There's going to be plenty of more chances going into the next round. So of course the racing is staying close, but not many racing moves are happening so far. As I say that, Victor Correa is gone within a second of Fotis Isoglu. He's gone very quick now. He just needs to keep it together and keep it that way, and not make any more spins. For the win, boys, at Silverstone. George Ralistas hasn't fared very well, at least in terms of lap time. He's 14.5 seconds behind the leaders, and we've only gotten 15 minutes in. So of course in GTE, Alessandro Riebeck remains very close to Ivan Lukic. And Thorsten maintains the lead. He's led from pole for now, and I'll bet that Arthur Gras is being slowed down for Will McCone. Arthur needs to go off Lido like a lot more than he needs to be, just to defend for Will McCone. He's put under sufficient pressure. So he has. Will's done a spectacular job this far into the race. I swear he hasn't gone more than 5/10 away from Autocross since he started. That is what you call close racing for the podium. Now we've got another car off the track. That's Adrian Huber in the LMP2 machine. He was 6th in last overall in his class, and last overall. It's not his best track, this, I don't think. But we all have off days, just like Dirk Pfeiffer and Mike Bartman. Like they were super quick drivers everywhere else, but of course you've got to have that. Of course you've got to have at least one slow track, you know. You can't be good at everything. Nonetheless, I won't get into that, but if I said I didn't have any tracks I was bad at, I'd be lying. Like, of course, until like 3 days ago, Silverstone was one of them, and like most of the Grand Prix tracks actually, like Sepang, there's lots of them I don't know. Like most of the tracks that the F1 races at, I don't exactly know, like Suzuka and some of the newer tracks such as Vegas and even Saudi Arabia. Like even whenever I hop into an F1 game, I'm at a loss for what to do or where to go on the track because I have no idea what I'm doing. Never raced those tracks before. Shout out to the train. But yeah, the best thing you can do to help yourself get faster is practice, practice, practice. If you apply yourself to something, you will get better. Dave Ziska's gone slowly. He's losing a few positions. I think his engine's out, maybe. Maybe it was hit. I have no idea what happened to him. Dave Ziska. What this means now for Sotirios Margaritis is now Sotirios is in 4th place without a doubt. And no one's there contesting for the position. Of course, William McCollum is still at it, trying to get past that 33 machine. 33 M6. But yeah, it's got 58 more minutes to figure that one out. So anyway, for the midfield, Rayo Racing's back up there. He's shot right up the midfield. He's challenging Sotirios Margaritis for 4th place. This is going to be Rayo Racing's best ever position now. I haven't seen Rayo Racing up that far of the grid before. And Victor Correa is the first man in the pits. He's going to try get an undercut on Fotis Isoglu. Of course, Victor started on the hard tyres and Fotis started on the mediums. So if Victor... So like this might drastically decrease his time in the pits if he was able to go that quick on a set of hards. Like imagine that. Imagine what damage he can do in the mediums when he switches over towards the end of the race. Fotis is trying to get the gap going as soon as he can. Of course, Extreme Radical in P12, just at the back of the GT3 grid, has taken his mandatory pit stop. I mean, it's not mandatory, but you won't survive. So, it's not mandatory via the rules, but mandatory for your survival anyway. So, that's what I mean. McCone versus Arthur Grau there for P2 of the race. That was the closest he's gotten so far. Man, Dirk Pfeiffer is cleaning up real nice. Since he started the race, he's gone all the way up from the back of the grid into P8. That sounds so sarcastic. I don't mean it like that. Like, that's a very good achievement. Like, from a track you suck at and fighting your way back up. Like, it almost reminds me of a time I had at Spa, where I didn't always quite get the track, you know. Like, then one time during a league race, like it was at the end of a season, I made a one-off appearance because after a little bit of a gentle urging from that is Sotiris Maritas out around 2 free positions for Mike Bartman. He's now up into P4. Raya Racing has utterly wrecked Sotiris Maritas' chance. Oh, this is ruining things. Like, this is going to be his last race, and not for a while at least. And I don't know what to say. Like, that means that translates into I'll give this guy a death penalty via the stewards after this race. In my language, but anyway. 54 minutes to go, and Arthur Grau's been overtaken right now by William McCone. McCone's made it now into P2, and now it's up to McCone to get that gap going as far as he can before they make the first round of pit stops. George Rallistas is the second P2 LMP1 machine to go into the pit, and Focus who's staying out amazingly. No idea how much longer those mediums will last him. Can't stay out for too long, or else they'll get too worn out, and the leaders will start gaining time. The cars behind him will start gaining a lot of time. Of course, for Victor Correa is still in the pits. And Kovac has overtaken Victor Correa. Kovac is now second overall in an LMP2 machine. So the heavens have just opened. Let me just open up for a second on the absolute masterclass of drive. Absolute masterclass of a drive from Mike Bartman there. You see the man in the Bentley in P4, M Bar, like he's made up 8 positions so far, and like from the back of the grid in a Bentley after being wrecked. I mean, not wrecked, but spun. But he came back. Actually, I don't remember which Bentley in particular it was, but regardless, that is an absolute masterclass of tigering your way back up into the grid, up back into the points, even if it's a track you're bad at. After that sudden eureka effect just clicks for you, and then suddenly you're fast and you know exactly where to go on the track, just the amount of throttle you need to sustain. Of course, like, back to what I was saying, random story time. No, not yet. The LMP1s are having a little bit of a fight. George Rallistas and Victor Correa are having a little bit of a battle and a bash, it seems. Victor Correa has been has been involved in an accident with George Rallistas. That is not great at all. I need to write this down when this happens because, of course, I'm a steward and I need to figure out. I need to keep track of the stuff that is happening. Otherwise, I will forget about them and people will be upset that I forgot. So. So the LMP2 machines have gone for their stops, I imagine, because Janusz Kovac has gone into the pits, and that left Ralph Bart to take the lead of the race. Ralph still needs to stop, so he might want to look into that soon, because he needs to watch that undercut. Very important that he keeps track of the amount of time he's losing from worn tires. But anyway, Rio Racing back in P8. I am at a total loss for words how I managed to screw up. I mean, it's not too bad actually because of course he spun Satiris Margaritas. I'll see to the end. I'll see it through that he gets the punishment he deserves. I don't want to sound a bit biased like a dictator here, but you know yourself, like. This is Satiris Margaritas' Yeah, Timo, you don't have to stick around on the finish pace. You can go off. Timo Reiter was the medical car. He was a second safety car going around to the back of the pack, making sure nothing bad was happening. He couldn't race this evening because he needs to make sure he gets enough sleep. Last time he did an endurance race like this, he fell asleep on the train the next morning, so... Yeah, Timo, no worries about it. Don't worry about it. You're grand. You did a good job, man. Shout out to Timo Reiter. Andy Darnell is typing. Why is that? Flat tire after contact with a P1. Andy Darnell. Andy Darnell's in the pits. He's had after having a contact with an LMP1 car, probably Rallistas with the way he drives, but yeah, that is not ideal for Andy Darnell. That is not the way he wanted the Silverstone car, the Silverstone race to go. So most of the GTR3s have peeled into the pits. Yeah, that was a train. We're having a little bit of a conversation with Timo here in the Discord. Yeah, that was Timo with the soundboard. It was mimicking the train that just went past my house. He heard it, but you know. It's nice to have these kind of little interactions and conversations. Like they're fun. But my team, I wouldn't do that again. Like some people haven't turned down the soundboard volume, and they're trying to concentrate. So anyway, 46 minutes to go, and these are your positions right now. So Fotis has managed to get past Korea. Korea have managed to make a challenge in the opening stages, but they've all made the P1 drivers have all made their pits, and Fotis is 40 seconds ahead of Korea. Because you text because speaking in commentary channel isn't allowed, and there will be death penalty, and I will not be happy. I'll be upset. "45 minutes to go, boys," and Jan Lukic has gone into the pits. Yeah, Timo Reiter was the second safety car. Did I say medical car earlier? Sorry about that. Yeah, if you wanted to have a look, if you're watching the stream right now and you're wondering what the heck Timo Reiter is saying, of course he's texting in Discord. I'm replying to him via voice. If you want to see what he's saying, join the Discord. There's a link in the description, and you can follow along in endurance chat. I'll see you there. Come on, have a chat. There's 44 and a half minutes to go. All the racing is stagnated. I'm dying for a chat with someone. Mike Bartman and Thorsten Burkhardt haven't pitted yet in GTR3. Thorsten is in, despite being Thorsten is 6th place overall, 7th place overall. But I wouldn't leave, like if I was him, I wouldn't leave it out for too long. So anyway, this is where the racing stagnates for the most part, and this is also the part where I bust out random story time. So here goes. So I was talking about that eureka effect that you kind of have whenever you figure out a track, and like you finally figure out how to absolutely nail it. But anyway, that happened to me when I was driving one league race for BRC, I believe. It's a German racing community, and I joined for the last round of a DCM championship because after a little bit of gentle urging from a colleague of mine. Shout out to Timo Reiter. But yeah, like beforehand I hadn't had very that much practice, and of course I just got to practicing. Like I was sitting there in the pre-race briefing, I was wondering like how I'm gonna stack up against these guys because Spa isn't my best track. But I decided to knuckle down anyway and just give it my best shot. And just in the closing stages of qualifying, like must have been 3 minutes left, I had this like I just had a really good feeling like about a lap, and just literally a eureka effect. I just figured out how to gain like half a second in lap time and add an optimal faster than the leaders at the time. So yeah, of course I stuck around. I managed to get in the first heat. I managed to get a little bit better of a speed. In the first heat, I just focused on putting the laps in. It wasn't exactly that quick, but towards the end, I was managed to get 4th place, and that meant I started up towards the 4th or 5th place. I can't remember, but at one stage, it was good enough later on to finish 3rd place overall over when all the points were said and done. And that was because I just stuck with it. Dave Zisco's round, he's in P11 at the minute. Something bad's happened to Dave Zisco. He's having a bit of a... has to be some kind of a equipment problem, maybe. Andy Foster's gone round. What's happened to him? Foster's is in 5th in his class, and there's a few GT3s in front of him. It's just not the best day. Not the best day in particular for Andy Foster. Yeah, Timo smelled "You spin me right around" sound. Please don't play the soundboard. People are actually racing in this voice channel and listening along. That's something that people do. But anyway, people who can hear me, 39 minutes left to go. Keep going. You're nearly there, almost halfway through. But again, if you've just joined in, my name is Michael Tuite, and this is an endurance racing scene in PetrolHead's round 5. This is at the Grand Prix circuit of Silverstone. There's 4 different classes: LMP1, P2, GTE, and GTR3. Although, yeah, you joined in a little bit too late, I'm afraid, if you've just joined in now. Racing's stagnated a little bit, and I'm resorting to having to talk out of my arse into random stories. In an effort to, not have awkward silence for 40 more minutes, you know what I'm saying? So bear with me here. I'll make it worth your while, definitely. But if you were around to catch the race start, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like to have a like and subscribe. We have a lot of racing leagues in the pipeline, a lot shorter and a lot more fast-paced than what we've got right now. Of course, what we had, at least during the start, was pretty exciting. Camano's out and about in P10 in this class. Yeah, but that's towards the back, but anyway. Yeah, if you have a little bit of extra time, turn back time around say, half an hour and 10 minutes, thereabouts, and you'll get one of the best, some really nice race starts. Shout out to myself and Timo. We were the safety cars because Christian had to go on holidays, so me and Timo had to take over. It was a 2-man job. Couldn't do it without him. Shout out to Timo right here. And not to mention, I had to drive a safety car with delayed force feedback at 5 frames per second. Without an Ethernet cable on terrible Wi-Fi, but at least I didn't crash the safety car. That would have been absolutely nasty. The other guys in the Discord would never live that down, honestly. I genuinely came close a few times. Photos nearly... I went so slow as to not crash. Photos nearly rear-ended me. I wouldn't blame him, but that was how slow I was going, just to make sure I didn't spin. So just a small message from Timo Reiter. This is half time for the drivers here so far. You're doing very well. Keep it up. You've got 36.5 minutes left to go. You're doing a good job up until this point. Keep pushing, and good luck for the rest of the racing stint. So we're at the halfway mark. Things have changed a little bit in terms of the GT3s, apparently. So I missed that move between William McCone and Thorsten Borchardt. Those three drivers are still relatively close together. William has taken the lead from P3. Thorsten lost pole and is in second place, and then of course Arthur started from second, is now back in third, as Will McCone overtook them both. +2, -1, -1. Quick maths. Then of course the next fastest driver is Mike Bartman. Shout out to the train. Mike Bartman has gone on an insane recovery drive up into P4 on a track he hardly knows. So very, very well done. A little bit of info from Timo. He almost spun because the GT3 sped up and he didn't notice. And then he saw the P1s behind him, so... Yeah, don't worry about it, Timo. You live and you learn. Anyway, you know for next time then, Timo, you know yourself. You did a good job. But of course, back to what I was saying about Will and Thorsten. Like, they've been rather inseparable. Like, of course, Thorsten wants to keep that winning streak going. He's been very quick on the weekend during the Super GT2 season, his home race in Hockenheim. And then, of course, he's quick now. He was on pole. And he was leading until 10 minutes ago. Thereabouts, I don't know. Like the pit cycle, like Will must have tried to gamble on a slower, must have put as much fuel in to get a quicker stop than Thorsten. So a little bit like big strategy. Either that or like to get ahead of Thorsten, he needed to leave something out. So I was just wondering, like, if he left, like, if he only did, like, 2 tires instead of 4, or maybe not enough fuel to last the rest of the race. Food for thought, you know. He found Lukic still hasn't pitted, by the way. He's still... No, he has pitted, he just hasn't changed his tires. He's on this hard compound. And the rest of the guys in GTE are running, Alessandro Riebeck is running the mediums. And, whatchamacallit, Riebeck is running the mediums, and Lukic is running the hard. And then Hockert isn't, I don't know what happened to Hockert. He was running at the front. But after the first pit cycle, he just seemed to drop off. He's running the mediums. But I think the hard tire and just sticking it out with the slower pit stops and just adding fuel in to make the race distance is the best way to go here for the GTEs. That's the best strats. Alright, so it's Timo needs to go to sleep now, so he has very important business to attend to in the morning. So we're not going to be hearing from we're not going to be hearing from Timo again this time. So Timo, have a very good evening. That was Timo there. But yeah, you did well, Timo. Very good job. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night. And that was just Timo leaving there, so... Two-man job, this. Couldn't do it without him. So anyway, I suppose I should tell you how I managed to set up the viewing software and drive a safety car at the same time, because that you can on this one PC, no matter how on one computer, no matter how many monitors you have, you can only have one instance of racing experience open at a time. So and of course I needed to be able to view with the capabilities of viewing the stream and spectating. I needed a separate mode for that. I can't spectate with Auto Director and race at the same time on the same race room client. So what so I just came up. So the problem here is that I can't have two race room racing experiences open at the same time on the same account and on the same computer, obviously. So the problem is not having enough computers. So I brought in, the way I did it was I managed to bring in my my old school laptop. It's a piece of junk. Let's be frank. The battery doesn't retain battery anymore. If I unplug it from the wall right now, it's gonna die straight away. But anyway, how I did it was I took, of course I have two monitors normally on my normal gaming PC, and a +1 for the laptop display. And what my laptop has is it has a HDMI port, so I'm able to hook up my laptop on a side table to my main monitor that I use for the rig. I had that on one HDMI cable. I had the other HDMI QHD going into the graphics card on my PC, and then of course I had another HDMI going into the 1080p monitor on my other side. So basically, what I had going is that with the to the right of me, obviously. So on my right, I had my gaming PC with Windows I needed to monitor for, of course, for the stream and for the Discord. And on my left, I had a viewing window that I could just tweak things from the laptop. And when I needed to drive the safety car, what I can do on the main monitor is I can just switch the inputs, and then I could just switch to for when I need to drive the safety car, I can just switch to the laptop input 1, and then whenever I pit in from the safety car on my in lap to catch the race start, all I need to do is just hold escape to pit in with the safety car, and then reach to the back of the monitor, change the mode to QHD, and that's the second monitor for the gaming PC as well. So that's how I was able to do everything at the same time. I think it's interesting. I'm proud of myself for that. Hopefully I didn't bore some of you to leave. To those who are still there, I congratulate you for sticking it out. Thank you very much. 27.5 minutes to go. And Focus Isaglo is still out there leading, and Victor Correa is dropped over a minute in lap time in second place, second overall, second of a PE1. Victor Correa, Janos Kovac is in third overall, first in class, and George Rallistas is a lap down in P1. He must have had a few accidents, but Kiri Kotochville in P2, Ralph Bart fought up to P3 and stayed there since the start, Andy Darnell in 4th, and Ivan Lukic 5th. Will McCon is fighting as we speak with Thorsten Borkart. Battle for the win here for 26 minutes to go. Thorsten wants to keep that gravy train rolling. He's got that win in Hockenheim the other day, and now he wants to win in Enduro. You can see Fotis Isoglu in the background overtaking Arthur Graw, running out third for GT3. Apart from the start today, Fotis has gone practically unchallenged to the win. Of course, if you remember Ethan Mottram and the way last time, remember when Ethan Mottram had his meltdown, he swore never to come back. He thought about it briefly. He practiced for the week before and decided just around an hour ago that he won't race, before qualifying started. So yeah, I have no idea what happens with that. I think he's figured out that he doesn't want to sim race anymore. I mean, we don't force anyone to be here. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a hobby. If it isn't, what's the point? But anyway, long story short, Ethan Mottram, the only other contender for the win today, chose not to race because he had a bucket of KFC beside him, and he chose the KFC. So yeah. Boys got his priorities straight, but yeah. That's the situation with the other win contender. And Fotis Isoglu in first place there for P1 is going to win overall unchallenged. So was the case with Janos Kovac, the LMP2 machine, third overall on first in class. And then, of course, William McCone cleaned up very nicely. He's overtaken Thorsten Borkart in second in GT3. That's the grey label. Borkart's gone into first place and Arthur Graw into second. Williams up to something there. So of course Victor is coming up on some LMP2 traffic in his LMP1 race car. It's number 3. So now it's up to Arthur Graw and Thorsten Borkart to decide the race winner with 23 minutes to go. It's lap 30 for LMP1, lap 28 for LMP2, and lap 27 for the GTs. It's on. A battle is surely brewing between Arthur Graw and Thorsten Borkart. The two Germans are duking it out. Two German drivers, two German cars on an English racetrack. 23 minutes to go. And Camagno and William McCone have gotten a drive-through penalty for cutting the track. That's Race Commander doing his thing. That's something I forgot to mention, Race Commander. So, of course, the way we've made it is that if you cut the track, if you go off track, period, too many times, you will get a drive-through penalty. Adrian is having a bit of trouble in that radical. Adrian Huber, P6 in his class and second last overall, only to Abdelkalek Nico, who DNF'd. That was something that genuinely surprises me. Usually during these endurance races, we usually get a lot of drivers that get wrecked out of it or get pinged out, or like the only DNF we've had so far is Abdelkalek, and even then, he just gave up because he spun too much. But it's lovely to see how our drivers are evolving in these lengthened stints. Just having a whale of a time out there. So anyway, Fotis is leading. Victor Correa is slowly gaining time. Fotis must be going a little bit slowly. Victor has obviously gotten the undercut there. He's pitted Victor in second place. Has pitted 3 times. And Fotis has only pitted twice. So they have undercuts coming up second by second. And that was Ethan Mottram, just briefly joining and leaving. He doesn't have a microphone. But, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that kid. He needs to make up his mind on what he wants to do with himself. I mean, of course, this is only a hobby. But, like, if you've been in the Discord and watching what he's been saying, he's been showboating for the past week. And then when race day comes, he doesn't... He sits there for practice, then leaves. And then, like he constantly goes on meltdowns and saying he'll never come back, then he comes back, and then it's a vicious cycle. Like, I don't know what to expect from him. I don't take him very seriously anymore. But that's just people. That's just socializing in general. A lot of different personalities out there on the planet. Some of them feel the need to... Well, some of them just can't quite make up their mind, is all I'm saying. Nothing wrong with that, but... just a little bit weird. But if you're preparing to race for a whole week and posting about it, you'd usually follow it through. So 20 minutes left to go, 19.5 minutes to go. Thorsten Borkart, of course, is in second place. No, he's in first. And then Arthur Gross obviously pitted along with William McCone. Sorry, I drew a blank there for a second. I should know better. Will's one of the quicker ones here. Of course, that means Mike Bartman in the Bentley has come back from a titanic drive. He's gone 9 positions up into third. And Mike has only pitted once. And while drivers like Arthur Gra and Satiris Maritas, even, like drivers like them have been 2-3 times, but Mike is sticking it out in the lower engine mode. He's trying to make the fuel go the distance and stop less times. He's protecting the tires as much as he can. I believe he's trying the one stop, as is McCone. I heard from McCone that he wanted to try the one stop. I'm not sure how that's working out for him. He's nowhere to be found up the front. Hang on. It says Will is out. He's DNF'd. I didn't catch that. Well, McCone's out. I didn't catch that. Wow. Okay, so that means this is a 2-horse race now for the race victory here in GT3. So now, of course, it's now a battle between Thorsten Borkart and Arthur Gra now. But the only problem is they're 10 seconds apart. So I'm not sure how much of a battle that's going to be. The closer gap is Mike Bartman versus Arthur Gra, second and third. But yeah, that was some driving, like the GT3, the grey label, Like, you can tell which class is which, like via the labels on the leaderboard. Of course, the white label is Fotis. Like Fotis and Korea are all LMP1 machines. Red labels are LMP2s. Lime labels are GTEs, and grey labels are GTEs. That man in third place for GT3 in this class, that Bentley, he is mighty fast. He's gone up 9 positions. He's about to make it a 10th, depending on whether or not Arthur Groh wants to pick up the pace here for P2. But yeah, this raises a lot of questions now about what happens to William McCone. I have no idea. Like, I totally missed it. Just another thing to ask William about then, if he sticks around for the interviews. Of course, we're still going to have that. But yeah, if it's anyone to look out for, it's Thorsten Borchardt. He's mighty quick in his GTs. In GT4, he's won Hockenheim, and in GT3 now, he's about to win Silverstone. It was a 3-way battle for the win, and Thorsten seems like he's going to be able to come out on top. Meanwhile, in the midfield here, Rhino Berger versus Sotiris Margaritis. Rhino's within a second of Sotiris. It's the M6 versus the 992. The LMP1's coming up behind him. Fotis Issiglu just trying to lap the traffic. He's waiting for his time. Of course, Fotis needs to overtake safely. Rhino doesn't want to lift off the throttle because he's racing. He's racing Sotiris Margaritis for P6. We'll see how that battle turns out in a minute, because he's getting closer, 10th by 10th, corner by corner. And it's almost as if Sotiris Margaritis is tiring out ever so slightly. He's starting to overcook due to the pressure. He's been going at it for over an hour. And this is usually the breaking point where some people in the series start to burn out. And it could be the prime time for Rhino Berger to start capitalizing and making moves here, light into his race. That's Rhino Berger for you. He stays awake when others sleep. He doesn't tire out. He sticks it out for the whole 100%. The last 13 minutes left to go, and Ralph Bart for LMP2 is still in third place. Hugh Kotachville has kept second, and Janos Kovacs has ran off onto the 33rd lap. Like, Kovacs has just gone absolutely bananas. He's just, no one's been able. That's our alien of this championship anyway. We need to start coming up with championship awards other than the title of champion. Like, there has to be like alien of the season, the Horseman Award for people who spin round, like a spinning top the most, more as a consolation prize. Most improved and best overtake. I suppose I have to start writing these down, but of course I'm gonna have to start sifting through all these live streams again and listening to my own voice for hours and hours on end. But yeah, it's something I'd love to do. Like, I'd love to compile like a best of the year compilation. Like, I think it really would fit this community and it would be really special. Of course, Dirk Pfeiffer is not too far behind his teammate, Mike Bartman. Pfeiffer, on the other hand, has gained 6 positions from the back. He's doing very well. Chasing down the 99 Row Racing M6 from P4. Rayo Racing has had his best. Is going to have his best finish so far. Third place is just out of reach for Rayo Racing, but you can still make it a 4th. But all he needs to do is keep the man that is Dirk Pfeiffer breathing down his neck in 5th place, around 5 tenths behind him. Away for as long as he can. He needs to do it for 10 minutes and a half. There are 10 minutes left to go, and yeah, Fotis has gone largely unchallenged to the so far. Janusz Kovac, well, he's pulling off a very convincing Tobias Tirov impression. Up in 3rd overall in an LMP2 machine, he's gone faster than George Ralistas. He's going faster than P1s. He's lapped an entire car class that's faster than him. He's absolutely running away. Well then, that's here Krasachville in 2nd place for P2, with Ralph Barsh maintaining 3rd. Of course, Ivan Lukic has managed to... In GTE, Ivan Lukic is the best of the 3. Of course, Mike Huckert has had a good start, but something happened to him, and now he's all the way back in P3 in class. And several of the front-running GTR3s are quicker than him, so must have picked up damage somewhere, or maybe no idea what happened there. But I have no idea. Like, Will McCone said, it says for me he's DNF'd, so I have no idea whether or not that's true. No idea what could say, or what could have taken him out. I see he's typing in Discord. Make sure to relay what he's saying onto you. Oh, you reckon? Oh, did he run out of fuel? I reckon he ran out of fuel because he was trying the 1-stop, and I assume that he's just tried to stretch it out for one lap too long. And yeah, like, it's not like him to wreck into another driver like that and crash out. Like, he's a better driver than that, so it had to have been fuel. Like, I will see what he says. Like, I'm just imagining things, mainly just to, you know, for the sake of saying something, because, you know, awkward silence isn't very entertaining. Alright, 7 minutes left to go. Lap 38 from the leaders. Oh, Andy's just after having one off. Not too bad, but could have been a lot worse, but he's lost a bit of time off that note. there's the train. I was wondering when the next train would come by. 6.5 minutes left to go, and Dirk Pfeiffer is up into P5. He has another position in front of him. He just needs to make it work. Needs to. Oh, it could be a slipstream. Of course, there's the GTE crossing in front of him. What is he doing? Coming across to lap, but that's an opportunity now gone to waste for Dirk Pfeiffer. And it's all because of that GTE, that blank GTE in front of him. So I just got a little bit of info from Will McCone. So in the Discord he said oh yeah, of course he's been in the pit lane, and then in his opinion it just killed the vibes, so I don't think he had the incentive to continue. So I'd see if like most of these other drivers are still duking it out for the midfield, but I would have tried to stick it out. I wouldn't have quit. So one thing I hate most is people that quit, you know. Like especially if you start to, like even if you're like Will and you get the pit lane penalty, even if you speed, like if I was him, I'd just serve the penalty, keep going, do what I can towards the end. Finish the race for the sake of finishing the race, to say that I managed to complete the distance. It's because it's a feat. It's an amazing feat to keep that concentration and not wreck out of a race, not wreck the race car for over an hour and a half. Like, you get nowhere by just quitting everything you enter. Like, you never give up. And anything at all, not just racing. Nothing at all. Because you get nothing. Absolutely nothing if you just quit. But if you stick it out, you might not get very much. But it's better than nothing. You get experience if you stick it out. Get experience for yourself and respect from me when you stick races out. One thing I hate is the quitter, but anyway, that's apologies for the rant. 3.5 minutes to go. Fotis is still leading in lap 40, and Korea is a lap down. He's been lapped. I didn't realize that actually. Kovac is first in his class. Ivan Lukic is the best GTE of them all, and Thorsten Borchardt, after making a very good 12-second gap to Arthur Braw, the next car behind, and after Will McCone quit, not like him at all, after getting a pit lane speeding in the pit lane after a stop and go penalty. I can't English today. After getting a stop and go, William McCone quit. At this race, he'll be in the next one. But yeah, this is now. I'm at 98% sure that Thorsten Borchardt is going to keep this gravy train rolling and keep the gravy train rolling. He got his home race win in Super GT2. He won the race in GT4. And now he's going to win GT3 at Silverstone. So Rare Racing's just got passed by Dirk Pfeiffer. And that is position 7. And that is a 3-4 finish for the Bentley Bros. Mike Bartman and Dirk Pfeiffer. What a recovery drive. Just comes to show that proves my theory. On no matter where you qualify, if you've got the speed, you can make it back. All the way back up the front. If you got the speed. Because like, under bridge circumstances, of course, like if you wreck once, like your day is done. Your stint is done. Wait, what was I talking about? I could swear I was talking about something important, but anyway, 60 seconds left to go, and not much long here. If you liked what you saw here, please give the stream a like. I know it was a little bit boring at times, but I tried to keep it interesting with a little bit of random story time and a little bit of a unofficial life coach, but you know yourself. You do what you can. "30 seconds to go. Alright, I believe this is going to be the last lap. So of course the Extreme Radical is chasing Rhino Burger, but Rhino Burger's got this in the bag. He's getting close, but he's way too late. The last sector is ahead of him. And there's no overtaking opportunities for Extreme Radical to capitalize. Rhino Burger will come home to P7. And with that, Fotis Disaglu dominates Silverstone and comes home to win. The checkered flag goes to Fotis Disaglu. DMD P20 on lap 43, taken by the Greek driver. Of course, Victor Correa, he put in a valiant effort, but he could not best Fotis Disaglu. He's a lap down. But most of these drivers are still racing here. Things can change. But Arthur has dropped back a fair bit. Alessandro Rebeck spinning out at the last minute. Not that will change much. He's already last in his class. Rhino Burger gets into 6th place. Extreme Radical and P7 at the back there. You can see Satiris Marditis recovering to where he started. P5 for the Greek driver. Alright, so it's safe to say with a thundering gap between himself and the car P2 in his class, he's overtaken a P1 machine to do it. Janos Kovac is LMP2 winner at Silverstone this time around. Mike Bartman, 5th place in his class, and Dirk Pfeiffer, a podium from the back of the grid, 8 positions gained. Well done, absolute masterclass in that Bentley. Ivan Lukic was the best GTE of them all for today. Arthur Grau, MP2 for GTR3, was very quick this evening, but he could not best Thorsten Burkhardt, who keeps the gravy train rolling and wins GTR3 in Silverstone. Of course,
Holy
Hiri
crap, what a
Kurtancheville.
hard race.
Yeah, that was an amazing race from all of you guys. Very, very well done to all of you.
Oh, thanks.
Alright, so we'll be doing some post-race interviews now. So if you'd liked what you saw so far, definitely put a like on the stream. This was a lot less eventful than towards the end, but we had a very, very good race towards the start. Like fighting for all over. But that's how it is with multi-class racing, you know yourself. Lots of battles happening at the same times. Lots of battles happening at once. So, loads of people are starting to join up for their post-race interviews. So, yeah, let's start off. Andy will answer eventually. So, Arthur Graw, would you like to say something?
Oh,
Either Arthur. So, P2
yeah.
and GTR3. So, what we were going for there? Were you on a different kind of strategy to what Thorsten was doing, or what happens?
No, I think all of us were on a two-stop. I don't know if anything else was possible or made sense. And yeah, I think I overfueled fairly a bit in the end, which might have made it a bit more exciting in the last stint. But also, to be fair, he surely overfueled the same way, so it's just very deserved winner. I think he was in control every lap of the race. So yeah. P2, nice for the championship and overall, and yeah, just nice result for the team also.
Do you reckon if you had a few things gone differently, do you think you would have been able to catch Thorsten on this occasion?
I don't know. He's just such a strong driver. We were close in qualifying. That was cool, but overall, I can't say no.
All right. So, anyway, that was a very exciting race from you. Like, do you reckon it's a shame about what happened to Will? McCone?
I don't quite know. He was I think he got a drive-through or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, he was. I think he was in race pace even a bit faster than me. Also, the Porsche was so good, especially in the first sector. I couldn't do the same line as those guys did. I had to save much more tires. It just they just drove away at some point, and yeah, but I don't know what happened to him exactly. So. Do you know?
All right. So, is there anything else you'd like to mention to the guys at home?
Not at the moment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Have a nice
You did
evening.
very well today.
Thank you.
All right. So I suppose next up we should get on to the GTR3 race winner, Thorsten Burkhardt. You have done it again.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So, yeah. You were gonna say something? Sorry.
No problem. Normally, I don't like Silverstone. It's not my favorite track, so I was surprised about the time and which place I got with the time. And the qualifying was pretty close, to my surprise. Arthur got amazing pace in quali, and in the race, yeah, it was first stint. My thoughts were full car, new tires, and we will see which strategy we go in the race. And I think just a second. McCone went early in the pits, so I knew 100% he must go a second time, and for luck I was close enough. I could close the 5 second gap, and he pitted. And normally I don't must pit, but I decided in the end tires will be pretty near to death in the end, so I decided to take my pit stop, changed oil for tires, checked with the pit crew the pit time, how long he stand, and I was, I think, in the pits 10 seconds or 8 seconds faster, so that was pretty nice with refuel and tire change. In the end, a bit too much fuel, but more too much fuel or than too low fuel. And the race in general was very good. Was very hard to hold up the pace. And the second stint, yeah, the tires were not the problem. I could go my pace, and some problems with some P1 or P2 cars, but yeah, that's okay. And GG for P2 and 3. Unfortunately, McCone got disconnect, I think. That's very unfortunate. It was a great race again. And yeah, I'm happy to race the next race.
All right, so that's awesome to see, to know that we'll be seeing more from you in the future. I'm excited.
Thanks. I tried to give my best.
All right, way to go, Thorsten. Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
All right, so next up, I suppose we'll have Fotis Isoglu, who utterly dominated P1.
Hi, Michael.
Hey there, Fotis. So, P1.
Yeah,
So, of course, during the opening stages, Korea was lapping within a second of you, but something happened.
to Korea.
Yeah, like he dropped back suddenly. Like,
Yeah.
did any contact happen?
No. In the first 11 laps, I was in map one saving fuel to extend my first stint.
Oh, right, so
So
that's smart.
yeah, I was really slow, but I managed to keep him around 1.5 second behind me. If I saw that it was If, yeah, if I saw that it was getting closer, I will upscale my engine map, but it was not needed. And after 11 laps, when I see that I had saved the fuel that I wanted, I go to map 5 and extend my lead.
Yeah, so you really were able to control the race then. Like you're dominant, really.
Thank you. Also, after the second pit stop, I managed the tires to extend it even more because if I didn't do that, um, I also keep trying to saving some fuel. And in the third, after the third pit stop, also I needed 4 liters, 8 or 6 liters extra to make a fourth pit stop. So I changed again the map engine, save fuel for about 10 laps again. And when my fuel was safe, I increased my map 5 again and then continue to the end without pressing and managing the tires. Because I had a lot of gap behind, it was no need to take any risks.
All right, you really had that one in the bag since it started. Then, yeah, very well done from the one.
Yeah, it was mostly strategy. Endurance races, it is mostly strategy. We have seen a lot of times that the quicker driver, it's not always the winner. that is endurance racing. But yeah, I think strategy also takes a big part of that kind of racing.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to mention to the guys in the chat?
I hope I speak for the viewers first. I hope they enjoyed the race. For me, it was very nice race. As I saw, it was quite clean race. At least I didn't see any major in front of me of incidents. And for the drivers, congratulations to everybody that take part, finish or not, doesn't matter. The only thing it matters to be here and have great fun.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, Michael.
All right. That was Fotis Isiglu, the class winner in P1 and winner overall. Next up, a man who came close. Well, I'll let him speak for himself. Hiri Kratochville, P2 and an LMP2. Second only to. I don't remember. I don't know. Damn it. Hey, Hiri. Hello.
His microphone is muted.
Hiri, unmute your microphone. Like of course you're in. Have you checked your input devices in Discord? Ah, he's gone. Anyway, next person. Huber, would you like to say something? Or Hiri's back. Hiri, listen. Check your input devices on Discord. The input device.
To hear me?
Oh, there you go.
It usually needs only restart the voice. Usually, that's the only thing I have always done if this happened to me.
All right.
So I had great pace, but Janos had even better pace than me. About a few seconds faster than like a second faster by second than me. I see. 2 minutes and 1 second on average at Janos, and I had 2 minutes and 3 seconds on average. That was 2 seconds difference per lap.
All right.
I did the sadly the mistake in lap 2, or on stream it was lap 3. I don't count the formation lap. Well, I did mistake. In turn 1, I ran wide and it compromised second corner when I ran over sausage curbs, and it shooed me away off the track.
All right. Is there anything about this race? Like, of course, you had a very exciting race. Is there anything that stood out?
Well, I had fight with Andy for. I think it was only overtake, but I had fight with Andy for short time. I think I was. Yeah, I was closing the gap on Ralph, and I overtook him through the pits.
Yeah, fair enough.
So strategy won the second place, I think.
Yeah, strategy is
Because
very good.
I went much easier than Ralph into the pit. Simply undercut.
Yeah, and well done. Nicely done. So, anyway, that was exciting. That was an exciting race. Do you have anything else that you'd like to mention to the guys in the channel or the guys at home?
Well, in Monza, I was very unlucky because I had collision with one GT3. When Sepang happened, few hours before that, I went on vacation, so I couldn't attend it at all, and I lost many points to Andy.
Yeah, but you're
And
cleaning
now
up.
the gap is moving again. So I
Yeah.
hope I won the LMP2 class after the season ends, or the championship.
All right, so yeah, that's definitely like you definitely still have time. Like if you just need to put your mind to it, and you can make it happen. Okay.
Well, I think the championship ends in October or November, if I remember it right. I don't know exactly the date, but I think it's on
So
autumn.
I could say it's 2 months.
Just to like we'll Ralph, just a sec. Yeah, Ralph, I know. Just
Third place. So it was a good result for an old man. The race was hard, very hard for my body. But okay, it was very clean, nice. Sudden overtaking, slower cars, not so good, but it's happening.
all right. So, is there anything that stood out in your stint, Ralph?
What? I don't understand.
Sorry about that. Did you have any scary moments in your race?
No, scary moments.
All right, that's good to hear.
Only driving like a machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Not bad.
Was 6 incident points. One off track. That's all I can say. Try
Yeah.
to catch up TV.
All right. So anyway, thank you for your time, Ralph. Here, I'm not quite sure that you were finished there.
Well, and I have one scary moment as well. Abraham mentioned the scary moment. I think it was on the Make It and Back It. I tried overtake GT3, but I almost took it out. But happily it didn't happen.
All right. So like it wasn't too bad then.
Yeah, but I had very bad lockout.
Yeah, it's like those you can't lock up too much or else you'll blow the tire. So like of course you managed to keep it good from then on. So carried you home to P2. So well done then.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Yuri.
Well, it was a very long race, but it was fun from the beginning to close the gap a bit on P2 because I knew I can't close the gap on P1. He was simply faster than me.
All right. So, all right. Thank you so much for thank you for giving us an insight to this very long race. So, what should we call it? Andy, I heard. Are you free now, or do you think you'll be?
I am.
All right. So, of course, you had a. What should we call it? Ralph Barsh got the best of you at the start there.
Yeah, I think he should be disqualified, really. Yeah, that start of his was terrible. I'm joking. Yeah, no, it was a great race. I enjoyed it. I was totally unprepared. I thought I had a good strategy. It would have paid off, but I got a flat tyre and I had to pit 4 laps earlier than I would have done. But I could have. I didn't have the pace. There's no way I was going to win this one today. Congrats on the 3 ahead of me. They deserved it.
Do you reckon you can still have a chance in the LMP2 Championship?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, the Red Bull Ring is going to be more suited to my car, I think. There's some nice straights up the hill there. The power's just going to be that little bit better. So I think the Red Bull Ring next, I think I've got a better chance. It should be fun. Should be fun, that one. But yeah, I'm still 20 points ahead, I believe. So long as I don't DNF, I think I'll should be okay. But good luck to Dewey. He's got his heart set on winning. That's what it's all about. A little bit of healthy competition.
Yeah, nothing like it.
Nah, exactly. No, it was good fun. Congrats to everybody that made it to the end, because it's a challenge for sure. 80 minutes is a long old time. But, no, great fun. And thank you to Michael, a wonderful commentator that managed to talk for nearly 2 hours without running out of things to say. Amazing.
Also drove a safety car and nearly crashed it.
Yeah, man of many talents.
Oh my god. I honestly have no idea how I didn't crash that thing, honestly. I was going slow at one point. That Fotis nearly I nearly brake checked Fotis there before the race started. Nearly remembered this error before the race even started. But
I'm sure the brakes on that P1 were better than the brakes on your GTR4, so I'm sure you'll be okay.
yeah.
No, it was great fun. Thank you again to everybody that participated.
Yeah, of course. Is that it, Andy, or would you like
That's
to
it from me. Yeah, I need to go and recover now, and I need the toilet.
Don't we all?
See you later. Thank you.
Alright, have a good night. So that was Andy Darnell, the man in P4 and LMP2. And I suppose we should end it off here very shortly after I give off shortly a little bit of a post-race debrief. My thoughts on the race and what could have gone better, what could have gone wrong. My rating out of 10. Driver of the day. Which I'll get this over with first. It's hard to pick one. On this occasion, I'm definitely gonna have to pick two. Like those Dirk Pfeiffer and Mike Barshman. Those with the pair of Bentleys, the Bentley brothers, I've been calling them. They were very, very good drivers. They were on a track they hate. They began to excel, and between them, they gained over 10. If you add it together, they've gained over 10 positions from when they've started at the back of the grid. Absolute masterclass of driving back, using the amount of time you've got in an endurance race. It just proves that our theory that no matter where you qualify, if you're fast enough, you'll be at the front eventually. So, drivers of the day, Bentley brothers, bravo. But apart from that, the race itself, the start was pretty good, but then it stagnated pretty fast, apart from GTR3 as usual. Then, of course, GT3 was a little bit that was very, very good battle for the most part, but just 20 minutes towards the end, Thorsten just ran off with it, and yeah, I was stuck talking out of my arse for 20 minutes, maybe more, but you know yourself, you do what you gotta do. Hopefully it wasn't boring to listen to, hopefully it wasn't an ear sore in the booth, and hopefully you had very good entertainment watching this in the stream tonight. If you've been watching, I've no idea how long you've been watching, but just one last reminder to like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you like what you see, and share this to people who that sim racing, watching real life racing, because of course the F1 is going to be off until the weekend, so it's sim racing that keeps us going. The race cars in here are fake, but the ones in the racing sure is real, and it's damn entertaining, so it'd be crazy not to miss out on the next one. So I suppose we'll end it off here on a high note. This was Michael Tuite.